and Slay and begging us all to flip over to watch ECU dummy Tulsa. No, let me watch.
Scored more points.
Huh?
He scored more points.
Who scored more points?
ECU.
You want offense? The Pirates got it.
They played like 6 Thursday night games this year. It's insane.
Is that normal?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think what their strategy in doing that is we want to be on TV as much as possible, even if it is to the detriment of our in-attendance fans. Attendance at these Thursday night games have been down like 25% for them, and they're still in the second place for attendance in the American.
Are the Bengals back?
I think they have something in this Joe Flacco. They really need to think about this when they're evaluating. Hey, Joe might come back, but I think we have Joe at home.
Got the wrong Joe.
I think they bought into the wrong Joe, man. They need to put all their assets into this Joe. It's like a 401k. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better as it gets older, right? He'll be 401 years old soon. You just make it work.
They are heading into a bye week. So Thursday Night Football into a bye week. They basically have a bye week after their mini bye week before they return to host the Jets. Their next 2 games after the bye are Jets at home, Bears at home, before going to Pittsburgh for the rematch.
615-737-1045 is the number. Can I, since we are doing Sports Talk Radio the day after the Bengals beat the Steelers, an AFC North game, just out of curiosity, Lucas said, how must Cleveland Browns fans feel today? Can I hear how famous Cleveland Browns fan, longtime Cleveland Browns media member, and also Cleveland Sports Talk Radio host Tony Rizzo is handling the result of last night's game?
How could you do that, Andrew? How could you do it? Why on earth did you feel the need to trade this guy to a division opponent for a 5th-round draft pick? Fireable offense. That is a fireable offense. I want to know how much longer the owner's going to watch this crap, because the fans have had it. We deserve better. You're worried more about your stadium than you are your football team. That's the perception, Jimmy. And you allow these people to do this. You have the worst offense in the league. Your GM screwed this quarterback thing up like I've never seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. Kids that play Madden could have done a better job. Truly. That's not hyperbole. It's a joke. It's a joke. This franchise has become a joke. And I'm sick of it.
The booing sound is so good.
It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Generally, yes. The crowds that are outside of our studios every time we come outside.
No, I mean an owner who might perhaps be more concerned about the building of a new stadium than the quality of the product on the field.
Oh, I thought you meant realizing that Rizzo and I both have complaints about the same Andrew.
How could you do that, Andrew? How could you do it?
Come on, Buck.
He's talking, of course, about Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, who has absolutely sandbagged their chances at competitiveness. The Deshaun Watson contract wrecked everything.
Yep.
Wrecked everything. And I understand that the owner greenlit it, and I understand that at the time, even with all the circumstances surrounding Deshaun Watson, there are people who will take chances on football players who are good football players, but bad people. It's not the first time that it's happened. Deshaun Watson is just the latest example. What is Deshaun Watson doing, by the way? Every time I see him, somebody is aggregating him and his new fiance, hanging out at concerts. They're, taking a tour of the south of France. Deshaun Watson seems to be very much enjoying his fully guaranteed money as the Cleveland Browns are, again, famously a dumpster fire, but it just feels a little bit worse because they thought they had a window and they've nuked it. Can I hear from Mike Tomlin? Well, I'm sorry, Lucas, you have something before we go to Mike Tomlin?
No.
Thought he was just exhaling from his back pain.
It hurts.
You know what else hurts? When a division opponent trades a starting caliber quarterback to another division opponent, and then that third division opponent has to face said starting quarterback on a new team.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
Is Mike Tomlin seeking out Andrew Berry to metaphorically unalive him today?
Tomlin hates Flacco. That win last night put him in a over 500 against the Steelers for his career.
Flacco?
He is now 12-11 against the Steelers all time. His other win that got him to 500, a win with the Colts. Do you remember this when Mike Tomlin said this after a Colts game in which he would rather Anthony Richardson stay in the game?
In the short term that Carson is playing for him, we were in a similar situation a year ago. We were playing in Indianapolis, man, and I commented to the guys that, keep Richardson upright. Don't put Flacco in the game. And, Flacco ended up in the game.
Flacco ended up in the game.
Keep him upright.
The only thing that causes Mike Tomlin to blink, the only thing in the world that can make Mike Tomlin and those giant owl eyes blink is Joe Elite Flacco.
I still can't get over Aaron Rodgers and Broderick Jones last night. It was so Broderick Jones. And it didn't stop from there. He just was throwing him around like a rag doll. By the way, Rodgers, that Hail Mary at the end, I gasped. He still got it, man. Absolute rocket launcher.
Because you could see that he was stepping back to wind up into it and then just, flamethrower.
Frozen rope. And it was really a perfect throw. Perfect throw. Bengal safety made the play on it and everything, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers, still Aaron Rodgers, despite the Jets experience.
What a fun game that was last night. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the combined age 81 years of quarterback play out there. Look fantastic. Also, the Steelers, the Bengals defense is war criminal status for their inability to get a single solitary stop. Titans legend Jonnu Smith catching a touchdown pass last night. A lot of tight end work for the Pittsburgh Steelers last night between Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. Pat Freiermuth with the long touchdown reception as well to get them back in the game. It was just a back-and-forth game the entire time. Both defensive staff should be jailed today because that was horrendous, even though it led to a very, very fun result. 615-737-1045 is the number. You have headlines?
I have headlines.
NFL headlines are next. The Tennessee Men's Clinic can help you with erectile dysfunction because it can wreck your confidence, it can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But the good news is there's real help. That's the Tennessee Men's Clinic. They've been helping guys since 2014. Thousands of men are helped to get back to feeling like themselves by the Tennessee Men's Clinic with cookie-cutter treatments that are not options, not cookie-cutter treatments for people who are looking for specifically tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all type of treatments. Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So stop procrastinating and call the Tennessee Men's Clinic today. That's 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
It's time for NFL headlines.
So we all
With
had fun.
Lucas Panzica.
God, my back. So we all had fun.
He's going to be like Mitch McConnell. Every time somebody says something to him he doesn't want us to respond to, if I go too hard at the Titans,
Right.
he's just going to fall down, start yelping, his back hurts.
It's chestnut checkers, baby. We all had fun watching that game last night. A 40 and a 41-year-old quarterback just going blow for blow, throwing haymakers on Thursday Night Football. Felt like 2012, 2015, whatever year you want to assign to Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco in their prime. And Joe Flacco obviously deserves his flowers because he's been in Cincinnati for less than 2 weeks. He immediately came in and understood, throw the ball to number one. He has avoided turning over the football. The Bengals offense had a pulse in their loss to the Lions. They pushed the Lions in that game last week in Flacco's debut for Cincinnati. And the Bengals offense was fantastic, especially in the second half.
Flacco didn't play against Detroit. Detroit lost to Kansas City.
What?
Flacco played Green Bay.
The Green Bay, excuse me. Thank you. Yes, they pushed Green Bay in that debut for Flacco last week. So he deserves his flowers, but I kind of want to talk about Aaron Rodgers here because he, during that game, playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, overtook Ben Roethlisberger for fifth all-time in NFL career passing yards. It happened with a 15-yard throw to Jaylen Warren out of the backfield late in the second quarter, and he now stands at 64,222 passing yards for his career. And I don't know, is he going to catch Brett Favre? Favre is sitting there at 71,838. So,
I mean, if he says this is his last year and he means it, because he has said that about Pittsburgh, I would say that he would have to probably play another season.
But he's been good. 1,270 yards, 14 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. His QBR isn't stellar. 55 is what it's at the moment. His rating, 105. For the season, he's completed 68.5% of his passes. But I think you owe him an apology.
Why?
Right now. I think you should. You said he was washed. You said he wasn't going to be good with the Steelers. You said that the Aaron Rodgers experience. That's right. That's right. You said the Steelers should roll with Mason Rudolph.
No,
and
I didn't say that they should roll with him. I said it wouldn't be an appreciable
different.
Upgrade from
Which
Mason
is
Rudolph.
Crazy.
Listen, brother, I don't know if Mason Rudolph, listen, you are correct, and I will apologize to Aaron Rodgers, but I will say this.
I want an AI poem of an apology.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Mason Rudolph, I thought that Mason Rudolph in the Titans offense was the worst thing that I was ever going to see, and then I saw this year's Titans offense. So I think justice for Mason Rudolph is required because he is probably going to be better.
Don't take the Titans.
A lot of people, no.
Don't throw the Titans out there as bait to try to get people to forget that horrendous take you had in the offseason.
I'd do it again. I'd be wrong, but I'd do it again. I will apologize to Aaron Rodgers. He looks great. How many quarterbacks actively starting NFL games right now? And listen, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that Hail Mary throw in him for 4 quarters of a football game, right? Like, he's still a 41-year-old man. That is what it is. But how many quarterbacks actively playing in the NFL right now does Aaron Rodgers have a better arm than at 41?
I don't know. Last night it looked like quite a few.
They look great. I am very upset for Aaron Rodgers because last night the Pittsburgh Steelers played defense in a way that was completely inexplicable to me. Because Nate Washington texted me in the middle of that game because obviously he's a Steelers fan. He played for the Steelers. He played for the Titans. He's a Titans fan too. He roots for both. And he texted me and said, you see this short to middle of the field attack game since he's running on the Steelers. Stressing the middle of the field opens up the outside. That's what I've been saying about what they need to do with Cam, which we'll talk about later in the show because that is applicable. It was made easy for Joe Flacco last night for a couple of different reasons. 1, because they were keeping the game plan simple. 2, because he's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to make that game plan look better. 3, because the Steelers kept leaving Jamar Chase single covered and it was nonsense. He had 161 yards on 16 receptions. He was targeted 23 times. That's the most by a mile of any single player, any single receiving option in an NFL game this year. T. Higgins had 96 yards and a touchdown. It was Joe Flacco's second start in 10 days.
Yep.
That's the other insane part. Like he's 40 years old. I understand he's played a lot of football. You don't have to ramp a 40-year-old quarterback up or somebody who's got that much experience. It's 18 years, I think, in the league for Flacco.
He came in first-round pick in 2008.
Yeah. So we are looking at a situation where there's many reasons why it looked that way, but the Pittsburgh Steelers defense owes Aaron Rodgers a big apology today because they lost them that game.
I mean, Joey Porter Jr. had his hands full, too, with T. Higgins, who also had a nice day, was obviously drowned out by Jamar Chase's dominant performance. But, man, the way Jamar Chase just continues to dominate since Joe Burrow went down, the best wide receiver in the NFL, bar none. By the way, we were watching that game last night, and my lovely fiance, Megan, watching that game, there was this close-up shot of Joe Flacco. She goes, man, Jake Browning looks so old. It's like, how old is Jake Browning? The gray in the beard and everything.
You know, there was a time when Joe Flacco he changed his hairstyle, and the hairstyle alone was elite. The graying of the beard, because it's blotchy now. The gray is blotchy in the beard. It does make him look like a disheveled old man.
How many times has Joe Flacco just been left for dead? Like
many times.
The Baltimore experience ended.
He was the starting quarterback for the Jets, and I thought it was over.
That's when I think everybody was like looking at him like, oh, buddy, just hang it up, man. Right? And then he goes to Philly and then back to the Jets in 2021, and he's just kind of this journeyman. And then he's on the couch for the better part of, what was it, the 2023 season when the Browns just called him up. And he came in and led them in that resurgent back end of the season, got into the playoffs.
It was 22 or 23, but you're right.
It was 23, yeah. Okay. He started 5 games for the Browns on the back end, went 4-1 as a starter, obviously lost in the postseason to Houston. But just over and over and over again. And then again with Cleveland this year, and he starts, and then he's benched for Dylan Gabriel, and now here he is, keeping the Bengals in the thick of things when it comes to the wild card race. And I guess in the AFC North, is the AFC North wide open? Like the Steelers felt like they were in the driver's seat and probably still are. They're 4-2. But is there a scenario where Baltimore goes on a run, the Bengals go on a magical run with Flacco the way the Browns did a couple of years ago and make this thing interesting?
Well, there's a couple of things there. There is Trey Hendrickson did not play last night.
No, he did not.
Also, Cam Taylor-Britt was a healthy scratch, and he has not started a ton of games. He has been a good player in a different defensive scheme. It seems like they are preparing to trade him. It would be at least the indications there. So I don't think that the current Cincinnati Bengals team has the defense that 2023 Browns team had, because Myles Garrett was the defensive player of the year. And not just because Myles Garrett. I think that was Jim Schwartz's first year in Cleveland, first or second year in Cleveland. And they obviously had a lot more talent on that side of the ball than Cincinnati does. So I would be surprised if Flacco can do. Also, I would be surprised if any other defense plays Jamar Chase that way ever again this season. That's insane.
All right, rest of the slate this weekend. It is the
week. 10 minutes of the headlines on that game.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So I look forward to seeing what happens next with Joe Flacco and the Bengals, who now they have a bye week to continue to integrate him into the offense, and he looked like he had been in it for quite some time last night.
Sue-Ann says Flacco is still hot.
So, all right, Sue-Ann. There you go.
And Joe Flacco's
bonk. So, rivalry week.
I thought we were going to have to save that for Laura Rutledge for the chat. Sue-Ann in here needing a bonk on Joe Flacco.
Sorry, not rivalry week. Revenge game week in the NFL. All over the place. So, we've got the Saints at the Bears. Spencer Rattler, revenge game on Caleb Williams after snatching away his job.
Nope.
Spencer Rattler, we're going back to the college days. Spencer Rattler, the prince who was promised.
Did he ever?
For the Oklahoma Sooners, projected number 1 overall pick.
He went to USC.
And then they got into that Red River rivalry game. I don't think that Spencer Rattler cares about the USC experience.
Okay.
They got into that Texas game. Rattler was struggling. Caleb Williams comes in. The rest is history. And yes, Williams ends up going to USC. He bolts with Lincoln Riley. But I bet you Spencer Rattler remembers that, because that banished him off to Columbia, South Carolina. And now here he is leading the 1-5 Saints into Chicago, where they will play the 3-2 Bears, who are on a short week of rest, coming off that walk-off win against the Commanders.
What was the game Caleb Williams ended up coming in relief for him? Were they down? Was it Texas?
Yes, they were down big.
And he was incredible
Electric
in that game.
Yes. So both were 5 stars, but it was Rattler's time to shine, and then Caleb Williams took it away from him.
The chat is alleging that you are making a incredible reach, calling that a revenge game.
Does nobody remember this?
I'm with you. He
Yeah.
took his job.
He took his job.
He's the whole reason he had to leave.
Of course, he literally forced him out of Oklahoma.
It's not like Tua. I mean, maybe Tua versus Jalen Hurts would be a revenge game. You made me leave Alabama, but it's the same thing. He took his job. Okay, let's say this. Say we brought in a fancy schmancy interim host while you were gallivanting.
I heard you already tried to do that to me the other day.
Well, we don't have the money to bring in somebody.
I was late to the press conference, so they didn't give me a full-time job.
So we brought somebody in here, and they were like, oh, this guy's cheaper, better looking, sounds nicer, and is generally more pleasant to be around than Buck. Why don't we just replace him? And then you go to California and do a radio show. You wouldn't look back and be like, bleep that guy. That guy is trash.
No, not California, Cleveland. You would go to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, Cleveland.
That's right.
Cleveland. Yep.
Cleveland would make me bitter and
That's
angry.
right.
Yeah, see. You would
as long
watch
as
us
as long as I'm still more expensive, I don't care.
from the window pane.
No, you wouldn't be in
Nah,
this
they
scenario.
would be
You'd
like,
be
oh,
far
wow,
less
this guy it covers up all of Buck's faults. He's incredible.
No,
Spencer
but
Rattler
you're
ended up-
saying that they would bring in somebody cheaper than me as long as I can be the more expensive option. I don't care.
No, but you wouldn't be.
not
That's what we're
anymore.
saying. Like, Spencer Rattler was supposed to be the guy, the number 1 overall pick, the Heisman contender. Fast forward to 2024, he's the 5th round pick out of South
Delarian
Carolina.
Watkins reach. Low post offense says, hell of a reach, Lucas. Many people alleging you are reaching.
Read the ones that agree with me. Kjo Davis on the
There's-
F&M Bank chat.
I think there's one.
Says, big weekend for Nashville Soccer Club. That is a revenge game opportunity for NSC against Messi in Miami. The Minnesota Vikings hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz revenge game. We've got, he's not playing, but Russell Wilson and the Giants going to the Broncos. Russell Wilson, can Jackson Dart avenge Russell Wilson in Denver? Revenge games all over the place.
You're not going to bring up this one?
What,
This
which
is a
one?
bigger revenge game than any of them. Vrabel
Titans,
coming here?
Patriots? Nah.
Yeah.
It's literally the most obvious one.
It was right there for you, bud. I thought that was
That's
the
too
build-up.
obvious. It's too obvious.
Instead, you gave me can Jackson Dart avenge Russell Wilson while he sits on the bench against a team he played for a year and a half. What is wrong with you? Next headline. Revenge games all over the place.
I mean, it's so the Caleb Williams Spencer
Keep it
Rattler one is
moving.
the most interesting one. The final London game. Thank you. Finally, no more London games for
Yeah,
the
but
rest
that
of the year.
means we have Germany and Spain. Yeah,
We
don't
do.
we?
We still have a couple more countries to check off the list. But Rams at Jags. Rams versus Jags at Wembley Stadium, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Couple of 4-2 teams battling it out. This might be the best matchup of the NFL weekend. Bucks Lions is pretty good on Monday Night Football.
Oh, I'm Bucks Lion. Just because I love watching Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
play.
Baker and Jared Goff, by the way, is quietly having a really nice season.
I think you just like them because they have your name. Oh, I like the Bucks. Get out of here.
Oh, I was like, who? No, I mean, Baker is, I mean, I don't know what the odds are right now, but Baker should be leading the MVP conversation.
He should be.
Certainly as in terms of the gambling odds. So the Jags and the Rams, when we all got the NFL schedule, how good of a game, prior to the season beginning, how good of a game did Ravens-Rams look like on the schedule?
Yeah, electric.
And not even to put the Baltimore part of it aside, like the Rams are still successful. They are still a 4-2 team. But I'm curious to see, one, the international games are always wonky. It could go either way, truly. The only ones who seem to be able to handle it better than most are Jacksonville, because Jacksonville plays so often in London, and they're used to more of the rhythms of it at this point in time. Matt Stafford's red zone options. Matt Stafford has still been excellent. Their defensive front is still excellent. Matt Stafford's red zone options have not been effective. What's the status of Puka Nacua? Do we know?
He has not practiced this week.
Okay, so no Puka Nacua would make that an even more complicated situation, because Devontae Adams has not turned into the red zone threat that they would like him to be. I know it wasn't a red zone catch. It was an explosive play against the Titans that Devontae Adams scored a touchdown on. But Rams a little fraught without Stafford's. I mean, Nacua is his best weapon at this point in time, yes?
Oh, yeah. Easily. Speaking of injuries, the 49ers against the Falcons this weekend, George Kittle says he plans to play Sunday. It seems like Mac Jones will once again get the start.
We just got a notification Puka Nacua is out.
There you go.
For Sunday.
By the way, while we're doing that, the Titans just put out a couple of transactions. One of them, they have released Matthew Wright from the practice squad, the kicker that filled in for Joey Sly last week. So,
Matthew wrong.
Well, Bones was at the podium with us yesterday and basically said that Joey Sly was going to play. He said they went to the stadium yesterday and practiced with Joey Sly, and then he kind of had a long pause and said, if he plays on Sunday. Okay. It was kind of like a J.C. Latham type situation when he was getting ready to not play. I guess they don't have to do this today when they just put out transactions, but I don't think that I would be surprised if they put out another round of transactions today. They could activate Sweat tomorrow, technically, for Sunday's game, but if they are doing, there is no limit on transactions necessarily. But if they are not activating Sweat in this round of transactions, I guess you have tomorrow and then you hope for it. But I don't know that that's a likely scenario at this point. Limited again yesterday.
And then Bucks at Lions. The Bucks, it really is impressive what Baker has done when you consider the rash of injuries on offense. It has just been a constant turnstile, man.
He's awesome.
Whether it's Tristan Wirfs or Chris Godwin or Mike Evans or Bucky Irving or Emeka Egbuka, like these are the biggest stars, the biggest weapons that the Buccaneers have on offense around their quarterback, and they have all missed time at one point or another this season. And it sounds like Mike Evans is on track to get back, but they'll likely be without Emeka Egbuka, who's having a really nice rookie year, the receiver out of Ohio State. So can Tampa continue to rise above that on the road at a Detroit team that since week one in that terrible loss, the blowout in the season opener, has looked excellent. Lions are 4-1 since that point.
Have the Rookie of the Year odds changed? I'm going to look it up on DraftKings right now.
He's probably the favorite, Egbuka.
No, I bet Jackson Dart's pulled ahead of him.
Ooh.
Because Egbuka was leading and then missing time, I bet has set him back at least as far as that conversation goes. Let's see.
Jackson Dart is the favorite.
Jackson Dart is the favorite.
There will be big swings all year. I feel like these awards are such recency bias as far as like the beginning of the season not meaning as much as like compared to the end of the season. Like if you have big wins at the end, like Jackson Dart beating Philly is probably what adjusted these odds. A lot of money probably came in on New York. Speaking of the Bucks, though, can you guys name a Bucks wide receiver? If they're
playing right now,
if their big three are out, can you tell me a Bucks receiver?
McMillan, right? Jalen McMillan.
He's on injured reserve.
Oh, right. Oh man.
No, I don't think I could.
Oh, hang on. Ryan something.
Ryan.
Well, don't they have
Miller?
that little white guy?
Miller,
Ryan Miller.
That's Ryan Miller.
One.
Yeah.
So that Ryan Miller is one. Sterling Shepard.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't have had that.
7th round rookie Tez Johnson from Oregon. And Cameron,
the 7th round.
Did you? I was going to use this for Friday Fire, but I found a better one. Did you guys hear? He caught a long touchdown from Baker last week, and he was mic'd up. And in this, he was like, "Yeah, man, they kept saying like MVP, MVP." He was like, "I hadn't done nothing this year." Someone on the bench had to tell him, "Buddy, who threw you the ball?" He's like, "Oh, Bake." He's like, "Yeah, man, because I hadn't done nothing this year."
You're talking about Tez?
Tez Johnson.
That's so funny. The rookie 7th rounder. Man, guys, I appreciate it.
Guys,
but
calm down. You should be doing that for Baker.
I had not seen that.
That's really good. That would have been a great Friday Fire. I wish you found a better one.
I did.
Ooh, what time we're doing Friday Fire?
Whenever,
Same as literally always.
Whenever we get around
I'm
to
asking him for the purposes of what do we have to give away.
Oh, we do have some good stuff to give away. Tickets to Seether and Daughtry.
I saw the postings. I was at Tedeschi Trucks Band at First Bank Amphitheater the other night and saw all the advertisements for that. Seems like a fun show.
Quick side note: what if Traylon Burks does something in Washington this weekend?
Good for him.
Yeah,
I agree.
This week
I agree. Good for him.
they
but
go
also,
to Dallas this week.
And Ian Rappaport's tweet said Traylon Burks signed with the Commanders yesterday. I'm surprised that wasn't in the highlight or in the headlines. The tweet from Ian Rappaport said they expect him to be called up. Yes.
Soon was the messaging around it.
Okay, so maybe not for Sunday, but
Who knows? I mean, they are also, you're right, in a tough position with wide receivers. I mean, he could hypothetically see the field.
That
but
would be crazy if they threw Traylon Burks out there.
I imagine he would be doing a lot of the same things he was doing here and not getting hurt. I don't mean that. I mean, like running streaks,
clear
out routes. Like, hey, let's have this big, fast guy on the outside run, and if he just so happens to get open, Jalen will toss him one.
Revenge game weekend in the NFL.
615-737-1045. SEC stat of the day next.
and you got to know when not to say anything.
So come on down where the big boys play in the Sec Dungeon.
All month. I don't want a single other SEC observations or stat of the day open all month.
It's fine. It's spooky season. It's fine. 5. The SEC stat of the day is the number 5.
5, Daddy. I can't think about anything besides righteous gemstones. How many souls do we say? 5, Daddy? 5,000.
Whatever reference pops into your mind. 5 is the number of times that the word Tennessee is stated or sung in the song Dixieland Delight by the band Alabama. But it always blows my mind because the retort, the comeback from Alabama fans is always, well, but the band, just the name of the band. So you chose the one song from the band named Alabama that mentions the state of Tennessee, specifically a Tennessee byway as they were driving through Granger County when they were writing this wonderful song. Somehow Alabama managed to choose the one song that mentions the state of Tennessee 5 times. And not just the state of Tennessee, but a Tennessee Saturday night.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine as a Tennessee fan ever singing a song in Neyland Stadium that references an Alabama Saturday night multiple times?
No.
It's crazy.
Nobody's ever accused the state of Alabama of being overwhelmingly intelligent.
Sure.
So it's, I would say it's on brand that they looked at the name Alabama and be like, we'll take that one, and then didn't listen to the song.
Just didn't listen to it. Or couldn't read the lyrics. 5.
Lucas famously grew up at Birmingham, Alabama.
Educated. My high school education.
Spelling bee champ.
I was a spelling bee champ in Shelby County, Alabama.
Turns out, degree of competition in the spelling bee, not too high.
Spell it. Oh, Lord, I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, Lord.
That gummit, man. Country origin. Can you use it in a sentence? Yes. Spell it. Oh, you're slipping me up now.
I could use this in a sentence. Tennessee.
Country of origin is crazy.
Tennessee ranks number 1 in the country in scoring offense, number 4 in the country in total offense, number 2 in the country in tackles for loss allowed, number 3 in the country in first downs converted. They also rank number 1 in all of college football in sacks, number 2 meaning sacks forced, quarterback sacks by the defense. Number 1 in forced fumbles. Number 2 in fumble recoveries. Number 2 in defensive touchdowns. Number 5 in tackles for loss. You read through those and you got to think, what a juggernaut. I mean, this defense must be the elite of the elite of the elite. Yet here they are as the number 105 scoring defense in the country, allowing 31.8 points per game. They are the number 120 defense in terms of pass yards allowed per game, 277. Alabama ranks number 11 in all of college football with 304.5 pass yards per game. I think for Tennessee to win this game, Joey Aguilar has to have a performance that will go down in the annals of Tennessee history. That will be truly one of the greatest performances in the history of Tennessee football if he is to lead the Vols to what I think would have to be a shootout win on the road, under the lights in Tuscaloosa, in a place that Tennessee has not won since 2003. That's what I think would have to happen.
We're not doing picks today because Brett Kern's on fall break. Well, is he on fall break? No, he's just going up to Toledo for alumni weekend. Homecoming.
Yeah, he's headed up to Toledo to watch his Rockets play. Who's Toledo playing?
Kent State.
That's right.
So we're not doing picks in the noon hour today because Brett's not here, but I'm probably going to take Alabama to cover.
They are, last I checked, a 7.5 point favorite.
I've got them at 8.5 right now.
8.5. Okay.
Yeah. I would have much rather taken them at 7.5, but I will probably take Bama to cover. They've got the better quarterback.
Right now they do. Yeah. As good as Joey Aguilar has been and as good as this Tennessee offense has been, Ty Simpson has been more mistake-free. He has been more efficient. And Alabama has, I hesitate to say this because Tennessee's wide receivers have played so well. And it was a point of concern. Depth there is a concern. Rodarius Jackson, Travis Smith, all of these guys that would come in if one of Chris Brazzell or Braylon Staley had to leave for a few plays. Those guys are out. Smith and Jackson are. But Tennessee's receiver trio has played far above even the highest expectation this year, Alabama has a more talented crop of wide receivers. Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard have been phenomenal this year. Jam Miller, the Alabama running back who left the Missouri game in the second half, listed as probable yesterday. Tennessee once again listed cornerback Jermod McCoy as out. So this defense has been such a conundrum all year. It's the weirdest thing because they do so many things well. They are the definition of a boom or bust defense. Not bend, but don't break. It is straight up. Opponent drives are either ending in touchdowns or sacks or turnovers.
What else you got?
Huge game, huge weekend, I should say, in the SEC.
Shout out to Jelly Roll. He's the guest picker.
He's the guest picker for College Game Day, who will be in Athens as Georgia hosts Ole Miss.
Which I love because we love nice things for our friends, so that makes me happy. But, like, when did we go away from people that are associated with the university? Because we started doing Theo Vaughn and Jelly Roll now, and as far as I know,
Theo kind of made sense. He's Nashville. He's friends with Diego.
But he's Louisiana.
No, you're right. It was a very loose connection.
He's aligned himself with Vanderbilt, the whole Pavia thing.
Yeah, like I'm so for Jelly getting to do this, and I know he watches sports. Like he'll go out there and have knowledge of ball. But,
I mean he doesn't have like a direct association with. I mean. Jelly was at the Tennessee game last weekend.
Yes, he was.
He was on the sideline at the Arkansas game. He's obviously showed up at Vanderbilt sporting events.
I had to double check where game day was when I saw that Jelly was the guest picker.
I mean, there are famous Georgia fans out there.
Well, I think Luke Combs Georgia?
No, App State. He's an App State guy. Luke Bryan is a Georgia fan.
But doesn't Luke Combs root for Georgia? Why do I have that?
Maybe. I don't know. I just know I'm pretty sure he's an App State. I think he went to App State.
Okay.
But Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, but I think those guys have done it before. I heard Stephen Godfrey on with Ramon and Will this morning. Like, there's plenty of musicians in the Atlanta area that are probably Georgia fans. But
what's Quavo doing? He's
Quavo out there
supercharging his assault rifle with a chainsaw. Did you see that?
No.
He's got an assault rifle, a golden assault rifle that he attached a chainsaw to. Who is coming for you, sir? Like,
who's got Quavo in there?
What are we doing here? You need a chainsaw attachment on your solid gold assault rifle is insane.
Georgia's coming for Ole Miss. That's another revenge game in Athens. Remember that game last year, 28-10. Ole Miss dog walked the Bulldogs in Oxford, and Georgia, who has not had inspiring offensive performances. I don't know what to make of it. Since Gunnar Stockton in that offense went into Neyland Stadium and went blow for blow with Tennessee, they've been underwhelming offensively. They were shut out at home in the second half against Alabama. It took them a while to get into gear at Auburn last week. So what do they do against Ole Miss? Trinidad Chambliss coming in at quarterback. He's never seen an environment like what he's about to walk into. So that's the 2:30 game on ABC.
It's going to be awesome. I think I'm going to try and sneak over to West End and catch Vandy hosting LSU before the Fox show.
Early game, yeah.
With that 11 a.m. kick.
Line is down to 1.5 in favor of Vandy. But still favored.
I still think, would we pick Vandy? I think I'd pick Vandy. Coming off a bye?
I'll ride the wave, yeah. The vibes, if we're
He's
to
doing
go
that because
based
Max
on
invited
vibes,
him to a tailgate that he didn't show up to, a birthday tailgate he didn't show up to.
Yeah, that was weeks ago.
Big Vandy guy. 615-737-1045. Ricky says, don't go, Buck, because famously when I go up to sporting events, the team loses. So, have I broken that streak recently? I mean, I guess I was at the Arizona game, but anyway. All right. Coming up next, we are going to get into the Belichick situation. It is a really problematic thing, it's an interesting story that has problematic ripple effects across collegiate sports. And Coach Mack will join us. Also Friday Fire. We have Seether tickets to give away. Lucas was listening to Fake It during the break, which made me very happy. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Nobody wants a heating, plumbing, or electrical emergency. There is no good time to have one. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost when it happens, or if it'll get fixed correctly, or if someone is just trying to sell you something when they come to make repairs. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, because their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family owned and operated. Their techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech that's been assigned to you and a link to track them in real time. No more wasting time waiting around, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be or the service is free. That is the Happy Hiller promise. Book online now at happyhiller.com. That's happyhiller.com for more details.
It is 11:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Week 7 got kicked off on Thursday Night Football with the Bengals beating the Steelers 33-31. Joe Flacco, 3 passing touchdowns, outdueling Aaron Rodgers, who had 4 touchdowns. As the Bengals improve to 3-4, the Steelers fall to 4-2. Titans are back home for the first time in a month to host the New England Patriots. Interim head coach Mike McCoy leads the way against former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, who leads the New England Patriots to Nissan Stadium. Lee Company countdown to kickoff hits the air at 9. Titans countdown starts at 11. And kickoff with Taylor Zarzer and Coach Dave McGinness on Titans Radio is at noon right here on The Zone. The third Saturday in October has arrived. Tennessee going down to Alabama, where they have not won since 2003. Vol Network coverage is on at 6:30. The kickoff with Mike Keith and Ramon Foster. Vol Network coverage begins at 4 right here on The Zone. And Vanderbilt with an 11 a.m. kickoff on West End as they host the LSU Tigers in a ranked matchup. Nashville Soccer Club plays out the final game of the regular season tomorrow night at Geodis Park. 5 p.m. is the kickoff against Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. Playoff seeding being finalized. You can listen to the game on the Nashville SC stream on the 104.5 The Zone app or watching on Apple TV with the option to listen to the home radio broadcast. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
There's nothing that America likes more, or society likes more, than a bully getting humbled. And that's what Bill Belichick was in the NFL for basically his entire career until his superstar, best-ever quarterback left him, had one more playoff appearance with Mac Jones, and then proceeded to ruin Mac. And since then, it has been as we've used this phrase before, a series of unfortunate events around the person who is still currently regarded as the greatest NFL coach of all time, but perception is starting to fall down around him. Welcome back to the show. The second hour is underway. Coach Dave McGinness will be here in just about 15 minutes from now. Do we ask Coach Mack about Belichick? I don't know. I'd just be curious to no, I don't know that Mack would give us a fully transparent answer, and not that that's a criticism of Mack, but I'm just curious what he thinks of the whole thing.
His Horned Frogs certainly handled them in week 1.
Yeah. Maybe that's the way to talk about it, just based on how things have gone versus how they were expected to go. Anyway, so since then, he's got Super Bowl titles with New England as a head coach. He's got 6. He has 17 divisional championships in the AFC East, where the rest of the teams were a joke during his time there, except for the Jets with Rex Ryan for a hot second. But even then, that wasn't a real thing. Now he's at North Carolina. How would we describe, one word to describe the first half of Bill Belichick's
shambolic
tenure at North Carolina? How does one define shambolic?
In shambles.
Okay, very good.
Crumbling.
So he gets iced out in the NFL. He almost gets the Falcons job, or at least he gets intrigue for the Falcons job, and then Bob Kraft very quickly calls and says, you don't want this guy. This is not what you think it is, Arthur Blank. No, thank you. Just because he got you 28-3, that wasn't the guy that got you. It was the guy on the field, not the guy on the sideline. So there's a lot of jokes. There's a lot of interest in his 24, 25-year-old girlfriend. And now Pablo Torre, who is the only one doing, it seems, hardcore investigative journalism without any kind of ties to network affiliations or league partnerships or any of the things that keep the rest of the news networks from covering the sports or the people who run the sports the way that they should be covered. Pablo Torre and his podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out, appropriately named, have done some digging around North Carolina, Bill Belichick, and a trip to Saudi Arabia to seek investment from the Saudis in North Carolina athletics. This is a clip from the most recent episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out.
For all of the episodes and conversations and posts and magazine covers about Jordan Hudson, it is worth pointing out that we've never actually really heard a lot of her talking.
Oh, boy.
But what Pablo Torre Finds Out has exclusively obtained for the first time, if you want to plug that thumb drive, Katie, into this computer...
It would be an honor.
What we have here is behind-the-scenes footage from the set of Coach at NFL Film Studios. There's Belichick, there's Patricia, there's Jordan Hudson, Is my voice cracking? And I think you'll get here a pretty decent sense of the dynamic at play.
Is it necessary to say keep them out of the end zone? Because I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory on defense. I don't know if there's like an additional point.
Yeah, it's a 100%.
100%. So that applies to all defenses.
Well, no, but we just said that the Cowboys' offense is the best offense in the league. They have the most yards per game. So they're going to get the ball down there. Mm-hmm. We know they're going to get the ball down there. Preventing touchdowns and forcing the field goals is going to be a key to the game.
Yep.
I mean, we could say it differently.
Is that red zone specific, conceptually?
Well,
should that say red zone instead of end zone?
Well, there's explosive plays involved.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So you guys haven't reviewed these before this moment here?
Not the graphics.
Not the actual graphic itself, no.
I think she's taking a managerial role.
How do they sleep together?
Yeah.
Just a little behind the scenes there of, I guess, Jordan, like, leading a meeting.
How does she change his CPAP machine?
Can you imagine if we, media people, were in a press conference with Bill Belichick asking the kind of questions that Jordan Hudson is asking in that clip? How would he respond? The idea that this woman is running Bill Belichick's life is insanity to me.
For what it's worth, I know you guys couldn't see the visual. Like, it was a dumb addition to the graphic. It's the goals for Dallas and the Cleveland Browns game on a large slideshow projector in front of them. And they are going through Bill's notes on this game. So when they're going through the graphics, at the bottom of it, it says, keep them out of the end zone. So, like, not to play devil's advocate here, I don't hate her saying, why are we saying keep them out of the end zone? Isn't that kind of stupid? Like, duh, we would want to keep them out of the end zone. Like, that clip to me doesn't prove that she's dumb.
No, I'm not saying that she's dumb.
No, or like whatever angle
I'm
that
just
people,
saying him.
No, right. And he agrees with her in this point. The most offensive thing of that clip, besides Belichick cleaning all the phlegm out of his throat, was Katie Nolan's squeal. She couldn't contain her excitement. Katie, you've seen the clip. Calm down. No, you don't have to be performative for us.
Katie Nolan.
What are we doing? What a fall off.
Isn't she back in the game? Isn't she doing stuff again?
With Pablo, I assume. I don't know.
The other part of this is the bigger story, because it's just it's a look into how things are being run, or who is helping Bill Belichick run things, and it sounds like it's mostly Jordan Hudson. The other part of this is The Athletic did some reporting on Mike Lombardi, who is the general manager of North Carolina Athletics, receiving an invitation from Saudi Arabia, from the Saudi Public Fund, to discuss the idea of essentially subsidizing North Carolina athletics with Saudi money. Now, we went through this with Live Golf. Lucas, you remember we were on the air when those stories started to pop up.
The Mickelson thing was a huge story. Yeah.
Huge story. And I don't know, how would you say the reaction from our audience was? Like,
toxic.
The idea of Saudi Arabians, the Saudi government, investing in American sports to clean up the perception of them worldwide because they'd murdered a journalist. And it's not just because it's a journalist. Like, the Saudis have obviously done terrible things en route to building up their empire and just drowning everybody in oil money to get away with it. But the idea of collegiate athletics being subsidized by a foreign entity, how does that make you feel as a college sports fan?
Yeah, it's right up there with all of those initial reactions with the Live Golf stuff, which at some point, I guess we got used to. Like, it was just something everybody kind of had to live with. Hey, Live Golf is here, and all these dudes are going over there, and it just is what it is. But obviously, there was great tension that came with that. And we've talked about it being a matter of time. Will it be a matter of time before Saudi money owns an American professional franchise, right? Because it's happening in England with Premier League soccer teams. It's happening in Formula One. How long until this infiltrates American sports? I never would have guessed, because that discussion has been had. I never would have guessed that the first time we'd bring this back around with that thread would be in collegiate athletics, in North Carolina football, of all things.
So let me ask you this. If you were a college sports fan you're a Vols fan. If North Carolina is the first through the breach and they start taking Saudi money and their athletics department improves as a result and they start getting better players than everybody else and the money has its intended effect, which is that it improves the athletic department. And the athletic department is more profitable than it's ever been and bigger stadiums and more options for fans, all the good things that come with more money. But, the nature of the money. Are you, as a Vols fan, going to be okay with Danny White making fundraising trips to Saudi?
No, that's a PR battle.
Is there a portion of your fan base that you think would be okay with it?
I mean, probably.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Like, if somebody does it first and then the rest of college sports is looking around being like, why can't we get Saudi money?
Yeah, I mean.
That is such
it's a slippery slope.
Horrifying idea. I don't want Saudi money anywhere near college students.
But yes, this comes out with Michael Lombardi, and it's a huge scandal. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens from here, because the Phil Mickelson thing was basically a scandal. Like, people were shell-shocked by it. And then one after the other of the most notable professional golfers on the planet started to kind of follow suit. The North Carolina thing feels like a very different situation. It feels like the world against North Carolina right now. Bill Belichick, by the way, who is the 10th highest paid head coach in all of college football.
Kurt Cignetti rising up the rankings,
number 3 with that giant deal.
$93 million plus guaranteed.
8 years, $11.6 million per year. Kurt Cignetti. We talked about this the other week. Hey, IU could if they just care, they could pony up and they could just keep him in Bloomington.
It's so sick.
Seems like that's what's happening. So sorry, Penn State. Sorry, Florida, after you fire Billy Napier. Kurt Cignetti seems like he's going to be a Hoosier for a while, and I don't blame him. That could end up being one of the best situations in all of college football.
Anyway,
he's the 3rd highest paid coach in the country. To be honest, I'm more interested in Cignetti.
You're just getting Buck going. There's no need to jazz him up with this. I'd like to go back to Jordan Hudson.
Wore my Indiana crew neck today, like I've watched the snap of Indiana football before that Oregon game.
You look like the teddy bear on the polo shirts. I need to play this other clip, Pablo, in the hot mic situation. That was not the only hot mic situation. So I was like, there has to be something better from this. I have found it. I have found it. It is.
You found out what Pablo Torre found out?
No, I found it out even before him. This video is what apparently Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick like to do behind scenes more than anything else.
Ooh. The thing that came across, as exemplified by this next clip of Jordan Hudson leaning in and attempting to have a private conversation with her boyfriend / business partner / boss on tape, is that they did enjoy shitting on other people.
Oh, that looks great.
I love Bill's old man noises.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's go back. Okay. Thanks, Cody. Yep. All right.
We should have Tony pulled this thing.
No kidding.
Helping solve this. You should send him one of those texts, like, even when I'm working, even when I'm with somebody else, I'm thinking of you. I was thinking of you the whole time. When I was like, we should get Tony in here.
You're very much.
You would make this place better than what it is, I'll tell you that.
On like a really serious note, on some of the things that we want to have mounted and whatnot. I mean,
I hate this audio.
Cracks, but for the most part, everything is actually really well done.
This is the best part.
You don't have to give Tony every single little detail for him to figure it out.
That's right.
I don't know. I have 4 full-time graphics people.
I can't do it.
I can't take this bleep.
It gave me the ick.
Them whispering. Can you imagine them trying to shh. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. They're just like, Bill, come here. I had to tell you a secret. What is it, Jordan? Oh, we have to be quiet, Bill. Excuse me. I'm Bill Belichick.
There's a fake Amy Adams Strunk in the chat that says, damn, sounds like one of me and Breaker's meetings. I am horrified by that. So I pay for the Calm app because I can't sleep. And
The sounds.
The idea of like one of those sleep stories being read by a grunting, snorting Bill Belichick and a whispering Jordan Hudson.
No. I don't even. What were we supposed to glean from that?
I don't know. I don't care. It's just gross. I don't want to hear any more of their interactions.
I think they're just realizing that she sucks. You know what I mean? Like, she's just awful.
Just now they're realizing this, yes?
Imagine this. On to Seattle. Or whoever we play this week.
Clemson.
Yeah, on to Clemson. Jordan, can you hand me my CPAP?
No, it's on to Cal.
on to
They're going to get destroyed on the West Coast Saturday.
By Cal.
They got Cal, Cal, Virginia, and Syracuse in their next 3.
I feel unclean after listening to their private conversations. I feel gross.
Me too.
Let's clean this thing up with Coach Dave McGinness at Titans Radio coming up next. Halloween is coming up. Your costume should be scary, not your retirement planning. Trajan Wealth is there to help you take the fear out of financial planning. They can do that for you and work their way through all of your different financial hurdles as you seek financial independence. I've been talking about Trajan Wealth for a while now, and let me tell you, they make retirement planning simple. No pressure, no confusing jargon, just clear, honest advice from fiduciaries who put your goals first. You will feel more confident. You will feel more prepared. And honestly, you will feel relieved. If you've ever wondered if your plan could be better, get a second opinion from Trajan Wealth. They have 2 locations in Middle Tennessee, Brentwood and Franklin. You can call them at 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000, or visit them online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Coach Dave McGinness of Titans Radio will join us momentarily. We will talk about the Titans hosting the Patriots back home for the first time in 3 weeks. The Tennessee Titans after a 3-game road stretch. 615-737-1045 is how you get involved. In the meantime, you are welcome to do so. We can take your calls after we speak with Coach Mack. Patriots favored here in Nashville this weekend, understandably so. Titans in their first game with Mike McCoy as an interim coach. There's not much to winning the press conference, right? Like there's not much tangible evidence of, impact on winning the press conference. But I do like the idea that the Titans right now have a head coach who have done the job before, who has experience with the managerial elements of it. Did you read the Jonathan Jones piece?
I did.
I read it last night for the first time because one of the commenters on YouTube, Duck Falling, asked if we could talk about that today, and I'd be happy to because there's a lot of really good details in there. Well done by Jonathan Jones, by the way, to report on a couple of different elements of this that we had not previously had context for. And a part of that is the idea of hiring somebody who was not yet a head coach, but was learning how to become a head coach while also trying to be an offensive coordinator. It's a delicate balance, and obviously it did not work out in Brian Callahan's favor. What works out in our favor is that Coach Dave McGinness is here. What?
Sorry, guys. Me and Coach Mack were just lamenting about,
can you stop taking up all of his time on the phone before he gets on the air with us?
We were talking about the great Pirate game last night, how the ECU Pirates rolled over Tulsa, and so we were talking about some Pirate greats of late. And one of them kissed my mom. I'll tell you about this after the interview.
Well, that's a tease.
Mac, do you want to stick around for that story?
Hey, I already heard it. Don't interrupt Bert now when we're having pirate meetings.
Pirate meetings.
That's the way he started it out. Mac, we were at a big pirate meeting. I went, okay, go ahead. I'm listening to this.
Jeff Blake. I was teasing it. Sorry, Coach Mack. I couldn't remember his name.
All right, calm down back there. We can get to your Jeff Blake and Jeff Blake and your mom story here in just a second. Coach Dave,
Bert, Jeff Blake played for me at Arizona too, so I knew he was a pirate.
Oh yeah, you probably knew he was tearing up all other people's moms too. I still mad at you, Jeff Blake.
Oh my. It might be his daddy.
Yeah, well,
Jeff Blake ain't
we
my
have
daddy.
A paternity test that's required at this point. We got to figure it out whether it's Robert Walsh III that's your father, Jerry Jones, or apparently Jeff Blake.
Well, Jeff, my skin tone probably looks like Jeff Blake ain't my daddy.
Coach Dave McGinness is presented by Two Rivers Ford.
You never can tell what happens at a big pirate meeting.
South's most trusted Ford dealer. Online at tworiversford.com. All right, so what do the pirate meetings look like in the Titans building this week, Mac? Obviously, it's an unfortunate situation. Brian Callahan, just because it didn't work out here doesn't mean that he's a bad person or anything like that. Like, these things happen in professional football. Nick Holt, speaking to us yesterday, said it's the third time he's been a part of a staff that's had an interim coach situation. I imagine that those things are difficult to navigate to begin with, but then the process of getting the team to lock in and focus on the next opponent in the middle of a season.
Well, the thing that happens, Buck, I mean, look, the train that is the National Football League never stops. It doesn't stop. I mean, if you've got an upheaval at your place, that doesn't mean that people are going to stop and wait on you to get reorganized. And so, I mean, it moves on, and it moves on fast, and you're expected not only to catch up, but to keep up. And so that's what they're doing.
So what they have now in Mike McCoy is somebody who has done the job before, whether or not he was ultimately successful with the San Diego Chargers at the time as their head coach. At least you have somebody, Mac, who's on staff, and they have multiple people who I suppose could have been options here. It sounds like Mike McCoy was their guy from the jump as far as getting the interim role. The value of head coaching experience, understanding that you have to first have a head coaching opportunity to gain that experience. I imagine there's nothing that equips you properly, no matter the circumstance, to do that job unless you've actually done it before.
Well, I think if you'll ask any of us that have been a head coach, they'll tell you that regardless of how prepared you think you are or how many years of service you have before you get your first head coaching job, it's a completely different job than any other job on an NFL staff. I mean, it when I say all-encompassing, I mean all-encompassing. There's a whole lot that comes with it, and there's not really a manual that you can read that tells you all of the things to expect, but you are expected to, and you have to not only react to situations pretty quickly, you got to solve situations pretty quickly. So the fact that he did it for 4 years before, previously, that helps him immensely.
Coach Dave McGinness of Titans Radio here with us on 104.5 The Zone. Titans back at home for the first time in 3 weeks. Titans Radio on the call, noon Central Time, the kickoff. You can hear Titans Countdown starting at 11. Lee Company Countdown to kickoff gets you going at 9 a.m.
Well, Coach, you would have been a part of multiple coaching staffs that would have gone up against a Mike McCoy-led team or offense, whether it was in Denver, Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, San Diego, obviously, with Phillip Rivers. What do you remember about the principles of a Mike McCoy-led offense and all the various different quarterbacks he had operating them when you would game plan for him?
Well, I mean, that's how he made his mark in this league. That's how he came into the league as an offensive coach, and that's how he made his mark. You know, with being a quarterback coach to begin with, and he worked with some pretty good ones. And look, every place that you work is going to be particular to that place. You know, and so whatever you do at that one place is not necessarily going to be, you know, what fits your circumstances as to where you are. But he was always a very well-respected offensive coach in this league. I know that, and I know that you know, nobody was surprised when he got the head job there at the Chargers. And you know, him being here on this staff, if you were going to make a change, it was pretty much of a natural for him to be the interim head coach, you know, if he wanted to accept it here.
How busy are those first couple of days, Coach, when a change like this is made? Mike McCoy is named the interim. The staff tweaks, the changes in the tempo of practice that McCoy talked about this week. Let's just say Monday afternoon through Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Just how much of a whirlwind is that in the building? How much do fans maybe not realize still needs to be done behind the scenes when a change like that is made in the middle of the season?
Well, it's 24/7. I mean, that's because you got, as I said just earlier in this conversation, the process and the time frame of when you got to get ready for a game doesn't stop. But you know, being able to reset, that takes you some time. So it's a pretty thorough and it's an all-encompassing process. Believe me, I know I've done it. It takes up as many hours in the day as you're awake. And when you're named an interim head coach, you're awake most hours of the day early on.
Get a Patriots team, Coach, that is playing some really good football, and it feels like Drake May is just growing into his career very rapidly here in year two. What do you see from Drake May in terms of the quarterback that he is in 2025 versus the quarterback the Titans saw at Nissan Stadium a year ago during his rookie season?
Well, I was impressed with him during his rookie season. I mean, but he's very efficient. It's very efficient. Josh McDaniels is an established offensive coach, but Drake May. Here's what Drake May is doing. I know you got all the numbers. I mean, I got, you know, people that run all the alphabet numbers on all of these guys to get ready for them. But just what my eyes tell me on tape is he's playing within the confines of the offense. If you've got a 73% completion percentage, which I think that's what he is that correct? If you've got that, you're playing within the framework of the offense. You're taking what the defense gives you. You're not forcing anything. He's only got 2 interceptions. He protects the football. He's very efficient. This is an efficient football team up there right now. That's why they're 4-2. They play very good complementary football. You know, they spent some pretty smart money in free agency, especially on defense. Defense is playing just like a Mike Vrabel defense is. You know, they're very sound. They're going to take away what they feel like is your best weapon. I mean, all of that stuff. I mean, you can see when you start grinding tape on this New England team. But the quarterback you asked me about, this guy is he's playing within the rhythm of an offense, and he's done that for 6 weeks.
Coach Dave McGinness of Titans Radio with us on 104.5 The Zone. A part of that quarterback success, though, Mac, is that the offensive line, I think, is better than most people expected it to be. And again, preseason expectations don't mean anything. That's why you play the actual games, and you have to get, I would argue, probably about a month of a sample size before you realize what you really have to work with there. I know you did Will Campbell coming out of LSU, a first-round pick for the Patriots this year. Just how good has he been on the left side, regardless of how long his arms are?
He's been fine. I mean, I thought he was a really good player. I mean, I really liked him coming out. I mean, he's just a solid player technique-wise, and he's a tough guy. I mean, he's a very, very physical football player. And you're right. I mean, they play very sound on especially on the offensive line of scrimmage, and the running game. You know, the two running backs are really good, and they're really good with the quarterback with yards after contact. I think if you look at the numbers of yards after contact, and again, you know, people have the specific numbers, but I know what my eyes tell me when I'm going through the film watching these guys. I mean, they're hard to tackle. And so they're running the football very well. They're getting more yards than is blocked sometimes because they can run through contact, and then the quarterback protects the football. They don't turn the football over. If you don't turn the football over and you play complementary football, we haven't even talked about their special teams yet, and both of their returners have got huge numbers right now as far as just return yardage. That's why they're 4-2, and that's why they're leading that division right now.
Yeah, only 2 interceptions so far for Drake May this season. I did ask Bones Fossil yesterday, Mac, about facing Marcus Jones, the punt returner for the Patriots. Obviously, he's had a score so far this year. I think it was a 62-yard return in the game, if I remember correctly, against the Carolina Panthers. And Bones talked about the idea of having to defend the whole field because of his ability to get sideline to sideline and just the different kind of moves that he exploits at that point in time. I mean, to your point, they are winning in some way, shape, or form in all 3 phases of the game, the definition of complementary football.
Oh, absolutely, Buck. And that's what, you know, people probably, you know, kind of gloss over the term complementary football, saying it's just a catch-all, but it's not. I mean, you know it, you recognize it when you see it, and when you see it, you understand that they play, you know, ahead of the chains on offense. They stay ahead of the chains on defense, and then special teams-wise, they don't do anything to hurt the team. They enhance the team with field position metrics. That's what good complementary football is, and that's what they're playing right now. And as a result, they're 4-2 at this stage of the game.
He's Coach Dave McGinness of Titans Radio. He and the rest of the crew are back on the call at home on Sunday when the Titans host the AFC East leading New England Patriots. Mac, look forward to it. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the booth, my guy.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Go Pirates.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, I love you, Mac. Go Pirates, baby. Y'all want to hear how Jeff Blake kissed my mom?
I want to acknowledge that Mac hung up on you.
No, he didn't. I hung up on Mac.
No, I hung up on Mac.
We both hit the button the same time then.
So first, acknowledge who Jeff Blake is, if you could. Remind folks.
Jeff Blake, former East Carolina Pirate, was a 6th-round pick for the Jets, I believe.
Yep.
Played for the Jets for a little bit. Played for Coach Mack with the Cardinals. Played for the Cincinnati Bengals. Kind of a journeyman. I think he had 100 career starts. That's his big bang. He had a better touchdown to interception ratio. Fine, mobile, early 2000s quarterback.
Had 1 Pro Bowl.
Wow, good for him.
95.
With who? Who was that with?
He was a quarterback for the Bengals in 1995, made a Pro Bowl.
Oh, it doesn't count then. That's what makes this even harder. Jeff Blake was probably at his best years in Cincinnati. Would I have that right? Or did he?
Yeah.
For sure.
We were having when I was back in college, I worked for a radio station, and every year before the season started, they would have a pirate radio kickoff party. It would be the night before the first game on the ECU football schedule, and they would have the who's who. If you lived in Greenville or Eastern North Carolina, you were going to this party. Chris Johnson, Dwayne Harris, anyone that you can think that played for ECU was at these games. And my mom was in town for the weekend to go to the game with me because it was also parents' weekend. And people were dropping people off at school, yada, yada, yada. My mom came up for the party. So I'm an intern for this place. I'm not really supposed to be getting tore up from the floor up, but I make occasional trips to the bar. And when I make an occasional trip to the bar to
He's hiding behind the bar the entire time.
Well, I'm putting all my drinks on my boss's credit card, so nothing has really changed from them to now. As I'm ordering a drink...
Well, no, now it's just my credit card.
Yes, that was with a joke I was making. Thank you for sticking along with us.
So you acknowledge I'm your boss.
Great job by you. Keep up.
I acknowledge that you are the money behind my funny. So I will say, I look across the bar, I see my mom, and she's talking to this tall, dark, strapping gentleman. I'm like, oh, okay, Mom, get it. Doc's back at the hotel, but I mean, I ain't gonna tattle on you.
Doc is?
My stepfather.
Okay.
Who's like a leather purse. He's like a spray-tanned banana. His neck also doesn't work, similar to your back. Like if this is only for people on Zone TV.
Yeah, have you noticed that Lucas is turning his entire body every time he moves?
But say you guys were trying to talk to Doc and you were like, hey, Doc, and he wasn't looking at you, he would have to turn his whole body around because his neck doesn't work. Anyway, Doc's laid up in the hotel bed. My mom's downstairs having the time of her life. And Jeff Blake grabs her hand, almost like, what do kids go to learn how to dance?
Cotillion?
Cotillion, almost like a cotillion. He brings her out there. They start dancing. They're talking.
Way. No.
And I was like, Mom, what are you doing? And then Jeff Blake leans in and plants one on her, and she does not pull away.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. You cannot just be out
Not
here.
on the cheek.
No. He may have seen a cheek, but it wasn't right then. Right then, he got right on them lips. So my mom, later, I was like, just by happenstance, I noticed you were dancing with, do you know who that was? I was like, that's a former ECU quarterback. She goes, oh, that's Jeff. Yes, I just met him. He's a great man. She had no clue he was a former NFL quarterback. My mom's in it just for the love of the game.
Had a decade plus in the NFL as a quarterback.
You could say anything you want about her, but she wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let this dude mac me up. Nope. She was just down for the love of the game.
I love that for her.
Whenever
I hope Doc's not listening.
His ears probably don't work neither. And the story's also fabricated, so who knows? If you are listening, Doc.
The way that he got self-conscious so fast at the end.
He don't know how to work a phone. He ain't listening. But I will say this.
So wait, is it Jerry or is it Jeff?
Oh, well, it ain't Jeff. It ain't Jeff. Whenever my mom gets old and we have to put her in a nursing home, I will buy her a live-in gigolo because I know she has a propensity to. She loves men. She loves being around them. How many stepdads did I have? The Mean Girls. The limit does not exist. I will buy her a live-in gigolo whenever she needs to go to a home.
Who's the actor that plays Deuce Bigelow?
Oh, Rob Schneider.
Here, Lucas, you want to voice the Rob Schneider, Robert Walsh's mother?
Rob Schneider is Robert Welsh's stepfather.
She doesn't care if she gets around town. Rob Schneider's here to put her down.
Oh, my God.
On Rob Schneider is the stepfather. Coming this October.
What do we have to give away?
Cedar and Daughtry. I'm coming home to a place where I belong.
Is that Daughtry?
When your love has always been enough for me.
Go to break.
Friday Fire.
Two Rivers Ford is the Honesty means everything, especially when you're buying a vehicle. And that's why I purchase my new vehicles from Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford has real deals. At Two Rivers Ford, the best price is clearly marked on their website or window sticker. You don't need to fill out a form with your information to get the best price. You don't need to do anything. And unlike other dealers, Two Rivers Ford never adds accessories or service plans in order for you to get the best deal. At Two Rivers Ford, the best clearly marked price is always available, always accessible, and always real. And if you want extra accessories or warranties, you can request to purchase them. Honesty is always the policy at Two Rivers Ford, which is why they're the South's most trusted Ford dealer. So for the best price and a real deal, get to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet. Visit them online at tworiversford.com or call their non-commissioned sales team at toll-free 800-900-1000. For the opportunity to win tickets to Seether and Daughtry, or Daughtry and Seether, depending on which one you prefer. Either way, we got a pair of tickets for you if you call us, 615-737-1045, and you give us your Friday Fire, the thing that made you feel good this week. There's not a lot of feel good in Titans land, but I'm certain that you could find something that probably made you happy this week. 615-737-1045, sports-related, personal, professional, or otherwise. Just a little bit of positivity to get your weekend started right. Mine's easy. Mine's Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was awesome last night. Did you guys watch any of his postgame comments? He was asked about getting benched in Cleveland and feeling like it was over. Lucas, you brought up earlier, how many times has Joe Flacco been kind of left for dead at this point in his career? He's 40 years old. He's out there throwing for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was 31 of 47 in the game. And again, 23 targets to Jamar Chase in this game, of which 16 or caught. But Joe Flacco, at his age, going toe-to-toe with another 41-year-old who had almost as impressive of a game. Thursday Night Football has been awesome all year long. I just think the Joe Flacco story is cool. I've always enjoyed him kind of as a player, and the fact that he's still out there doing it and gave us a thoroughly enjoyable experience last night, even if it was malpractice by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I don't care. Good on Joe Flacco.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining. My Friday Fire goes to Taylor Washington, Nashville SC defender who officially announced his retirement earlier this week. About 3 days ago, Taylor announced it at Geodis Park. Taylor was signed by Nashville SC in 2018 in its inaugural season as a USL club before it made the jump up to MLS. He was one of the very few players that stayed with the club as one of its players on the roster when it went from USL to MLS. Fast forward to 2025, and he is the only holdover as far as players are concerned from those USL days. And you talk about a club ambassador, they don't get better than Taylor. One of the best people you could ever be around. He is the 5-time Humanitarian of the Year for Nashville SC's end-of-season awards. What he has done to impact Special Olympics Tennessee, Seacrest Studios at Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Nashville Rescue Mission, the Bridge Ministry. I mean, we don't even have time to name everything Taylor's been involved with in the Nashville and Middle Tennessee community.
All great organizations, by the way.
Congratulations to Taylor Washington on the end of a great career. He is a Nashville SC legend in every sense of the word.
That's very cool for him to start literally from the bottom with them.
Yeah.
And to spend his career here and, like you said, giving so much back to the community, which is greatly appreciated. So congratulations to him on an excellent career. Robert?
We are in the opinion business, fellas. We are in the opinion business. We are not in the betting business. That's why anytime someone out there in La La Land, Twitter land, whatever, puts out something that says, this is never going to happen, and if it does, I'll eat my shoe. I bookmark every single one of those tweets to come back and go, fire up that burner, baby. Let's eat a shoe today. And a Pittsburgh Steeler beat writer did just that. Andrew Filipponi.
Lucas, did you see this?
He's about to be Filippone in something.
I did see this.
There is no way the Steelers lose tonight. In fact, I'll get my nipples pierced with no numbing agent if they lose to the Bungles. It ain't happening.
33-31. Bungles.
All I can think about when anyone talks about that is the coach from Waterboy that's like, home where you make
rubbing
it.
his nipples.
Yeah, home where you make it. You like to see homeboys naked. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Not homeboy naked. Home where you make it. Rips his nipple
you are
rings
basically
out.
that person, by the way.
No, that is like Boomhauer's father. I am more
Dang old.
how do you dang on nipple ring, man. Come on, one down. I can't wait to see the pick. Something like this happened to us at Senior Beach Week. I made a bet with my buddy. He would get his belly button pierced, have a hanging anchor. He ended up not being able to go through because when we went to get the piercing done, the guy said that he was too inebriated. I was like, what do you mean? He signed this days ago saying he would do this. Come on, man. They would not let him get a belly ring. Now he is in the Coast Guard, and I wish he had an anchor belly ring, dude.
This guy's a beat writer?
Yeah. And he's like a good beat writer. He's been around for a while.
He's on 93.7 The Fan as well.
Okay.
Up there.
He,
he has a special announcement about his nipples. Let me listen to this audio really quick while you take some calls. And
I was just going to say, you can listen to the audio while we do this, but I'm just going to say, like, this guy's just looking for an excuse to get his nipples pierced, right? Like,
or to just chase some clout. Yeah.
That's not clout. What do you mean clout?
That's the definition of clout.
Threatening to get your nipples pierced?
The amount of engagement he's going to get over this and already has gotten. Like he's putting out a video, a special announcement on his nipples that is going to have like hundreds of thousands of views.
A special announcement on his nipples is pretty funny.
So yes, for clout. This is like you eating the hot chip. It's for clout. It's everybody look at me.
I ate the hot chip because I lost a bet.
Yeah, two things can be true.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to get involved. What is your Friday Fire? Remember to stay on hold after you give your submission for the opportunity to win those tickets. Let's start with, is it Chanel in Columbia?
That is correct.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
I was just calling to say that the Friday Feel Good is we had a patient at Ascension, and she got a heart transplant from someone. A heart came in, and it was perfect fit for her, and she's doing great, and we're very proud of the hard work, and I'm proud of her and overcoming the obstacle, and she's going to have a great life.
That's incredible, Chanel. Well done by you and your team. That's awesome. I'm sure that person is going to be grateful to you for the rest of their lives. I know that person is going to be grateful to you guys for the rest of their lives. Thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it.
Good luck beating that.
Yeah, that's the leader in the clubhouse, kids. You got something better than a successful heart transplant? I dare you to call in here and call with your Brian Callahan got fired Friday fire. I dare you.
I love when we get something like that, something so, literally life-changing, life-saving, and people just have to follow it up with.
Do we just call it? Do we just call it? I mean, I don't want...
No, now I want to hear...
Do we take the other calls?
Let's put someone in a bad spot here.
Okay, Brian, I'm sorry. You have to follow that up. Go ahead.
I have no shot. Anyhow, Friday Fire is the hot start that the Preds have gotten off to.
Hey!
For their first 5 games, they've gotten younger. They seem to have gotten better. So looking forward to a good season. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate the call, Brian. Thank you for it.
It has been a good first couple weeks.
Good for the Preds, man. We need some more consistent winning around here.
Did lose an OT yesterday, but
Nashville SC doing a lot of heavy lifting on the front end. So if the Preds can give us something else to talk about, that would be swell. Kara is in Mount Juliet.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Great.
Chanel definitely put some things into perspective, so that's awesome. But as a lifelong Vandy fan from the Jerry DiNardo, Weidenhofer, Bobby Johnson, all of them, Derek Mason, Al Clarkley, for them to be first time being favored against a ranked opponent, that is amazing. I cannot wait for tomorrow's game.
Are you tailgating before? What's the game day experience going to look like for you?
For me, it's not going to be great. I got to work tomorrow. I'm in the car business, but I'll be watching from work.
Awesome.
I won't be much help for tomorrow, but that'll be all right.
Well, congratulations on a fun football season. It's been really cool, and hopefully Vandy can get it done. I know Lucas, even though he's lying to you when he says he's rooting for Vanderbilt, but
I'd like to see Vandy win this game. I really would.
One more just for the hell of it. Titanomics.
Hey, shout out to the chat on YouTube. Start off, but I can't compete with that first one, so I'm gonna hang up after this. So this is gonna turn into like a Friday tip. I went to court today, and I was being sued for $15,000, and just because I showed up, it got dismissed because the creditor was not there.
Whoa, that's a big win.
Hell yeah. So, tip, go to court. You might just get lucky. There's so many people who didn't show up who got hit with judgments, okay? And I was going to fight it anyway, but I was wrongfully sued. And I still that's how God shows up for me, man. Thank you, God, and go Vols.
That's awesome. Here you go. Well done by you. All right, Chanel, Robert will be in touch with you shortly.
Oh, I love that.
To give you the tickets. Very
Chanel
cool.
headed to Seether.
Awesome. And Daughtry.
No disrespect to Daughtry.
Chris Daughtry.
Yes. Wasn't his elimination from American Idol like a scandal? Wasn't there like
I don't remember that.
Wasn't there like a voting?
My last season watching American Idol was Fantasia. Can you tell me what year Fantasia won American Idol?
No.
Because that is the last memory that I have of watching American Idol.
Mine is the Adams. Remember? It was like Adam.
The guy that was
the young guy and then the older guy. They were both named Adam.
Well, what band is he filling in for the lead singer for?
Queen. Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert.
Oh no, that's not who I'm thinking of then.
Either way,
but yeah.
Can the Titans get an interim coach bump? We'll talk about it next.
12:02, good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans host the New England Patriots on Sunday. Mike Vrabel's return to Nissan Stadium. Titans led by interim head coach Mike McCoy, who will meet with media coming up in a little bit. We'll see if he updates injuries ahead of the game on Sunday. Titans did make a transaction today, releasing kicker Matthew Wright from the practice squad. Wright kicked in place of the injured Joey Sly last week in Vegas. On Sunday, the Lee Company countdown to kickoff starts at 9 a.m. Titans countdown at 11, and kickoff between Titans and Patriots with Taylor Zarzer and Dave McGinness on Titans Radio is at noon. College football, it is the third Saturday in October. Tennessee heads to Tuscaloosa, where they have not won since 2003. 6:30 p.m., the kickoff between the Vols and the Tide. You can catch Vol Network coverage right here in the Zone. Mike Keith and Ramon Foster on the call with coverage beginning at 4 o'clock. Vanderbilt is on West End. Early kickoff, 11 a.m. The Commodores favored against a ranked opponent in LSU for the first time since 1978. Nashville Soccer Club plays the final game of the regular season tomorrow at Geodis Park, hosting Lionel Messi and Inter Miami to lock up playoff seeding. You can catch the game with a 5 p.m. kickoff on the Nashville SC stream via the 104.5 The Zone app. Can also watch on Apple TV and listen to the home radio broadcast audio. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour of the show. We're going to let you hear from Laura Rutledge of ESPN. She was kind enough to make some time for us, so we recorded an interview with her yesterday, and we will talk about some college football and some NFL discussion, as well as Cam Ward-specific discussion with the host of NFL Live. And the SEC is the sideline reporter. She does a lot of sideline reporting for, obviously, Monday Night Football, obviously for ESPN's SEC games as well, and she's a big part of the SEC Nation show. And Lucas makes some terrible, terrible jokes that you have to look forward to in the middle of that interview, of which she was very kind to nod and smile. Smile and wave, boys.
I left hungry, I will say, with all that ham talk.
Ham talk, that's a tease. So we'll get to Laura Rutledge here in about 15 minutes from now. But the Titans have a game in Mike McCoy's first opportunity as the interim head coach of the team. Obviously, you know that Brian Callahan was fired on Monday, and that the kind of the tenor of the locker room was Jeff Simmons was the one most publicly saying it came as a shock. The rest of these guys that we talked to the last couple of days, Lucas, were kind of like, great guy, really liked having him around, but understood why change was needed. Whether it's Peter Skoronski or Chigakonko. Now, it's a lot of offensive guys that we're obviously asking about it, which is the side of the ball that's struggling the most. Denard Wilson also gave a really interesting answer yesterday about wanting to be a head coach. It was a good question from Lauren Walsh at WSMV, Channel 4, who asked him the question. I did not think to have that audio for Robert, but perhaps we can get that during the Laura Rutledge interview, or while the Laura Rutledge interview is playing. The interim coach bump. Do the three of us believe in the interim coach bump? It's worked here. Mike Mularkey took over in 2015 for Ken Wisenhunt, and then proceeded to win a game in New Orleans where Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass to Titans legend Anthony Fasano to win the game.
Jeff Fisher? There's been precedent.
With replacing Jack Pardee.
Yeah.
And both Fisher and Mularkey ended up keeping that job full-time. I can't remember the name of the third. Who was Munchak fired in season?
No, he was not.
So there's another interim coach in the history of Titans.
It goes further back into the Oilers.
Yeah, but either way, all three of the interim coaches ended up getting the job in this franchise's history. Now, obviously, Amy Adams-Strunk has only been a part of one of those scenarios, now two, potentially. So we'll see if Mike McCoy's impact has any bearing on this at this point in time. But do we believe that the interim coach bump is real?
It can be. I mean, what comes to mind?
I have some stats for you.
All right.
How many coaches were fired in season last year? Can you all tell me?
Oof. I know At least 2. Is it more than 2?
It's 3.
Okay.
So
Saleh,
Robert Saleh
Eberflus,
and Dennis Allen.
Oh, right.
The Saints coach. Can you tell me how many of those 3 got a win in their first game? How many of those interims got a win? Those 3 interims got a win in their first game after the fact.
Did Ulbrich with the Jets?
No, it was Darren Rizzi with the Saints. The Saints were able to beat the Falcons 20-17 in Week 10.
Not a Rich Bisaccia? Rich Bisaccia didn't get one?
That's a little further back.
Rich Bisaccia was the Raiders?
Yes,
Raiders
2022.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Was he the one who took over for Josh McDaniels? Is that right?
No. Antonio Pierce took over for Josh McDaniels.
Bisaccia took over for Gruden.
Yes.
And that's the one everybody loved. They were like, same thing with Pierce.
Yeah.
But I think he is a special teams coordinator in Green Bay now.
Yes,
so maybe
is.
he could be a Titans head coach candidate. He
Pierce
has connection with Brinker.
That's true. Pierce is the best example in recent memory, right, of the interim coach bump. They were much better down the stretch. Bill Hardigree calling the plays, Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. They won more games than they lost down the stretch that year, narrowly missed the playoffs. Players stood on the table wanting Antonio Pierce to be the head coach. That was short-lived.
So, as you look at the interim coach bump, last year it wasn't necessarily a thing, but there's some good numbers from Nick Shook of NFL.com. This is courtesy of NFL Research, but Nick Shook is the one who put it out there. Interim coaches are 20-30 in their first game since 2000. They are 500, 9-9 since 2018.
That's not bad.
Not terrible.
I thought it'd be worse.
Right? But that's in their first game.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't account for their whole record and how things go after that. Can Mike McCoy do the thing that not a single solitary person expects Mike McCoy to be able to do, which is to take control of the Tennessee Titans, to let his experience help guide them into a better spot, make the necessary adjustments for Cam Ward offensively, and get the best possible version out of Cam Ward that we have seen through 6 weeks of the NFL season to beat the team that nobody is going to pick them to beat, except I heard Stillman. I can't remember if he texted me or somebody told me that he picked the Titans to win, which is, of course, nonsensical, but suppose that's why you play the games.
Well, Tyler on the F&M Bank chat says the interim coach bump plus Vrabel slip-up game isn't far-fetched, but unlikely.
It is famously a Mike Vrabel thing to beat the teams you have no business beating and lose the games that you have no business losing.
And against rookie quarterbacks, that was also a bit of a trend in the Vrabel era here. The Zach Wilson loss against a bad Jets team immediately comes to mind.
He really was only good for that game. Him and Corey Davis were only good for that game.
That one game. So, that a couple things would have to come together.
His mind. That was a fun game to cover, but it was a ridiculous loss.
How different will the Titans offense really be? How hard will it be to overcome Calvin Ridley maybe not playing? I guess we'll see if Mike McCoy updates injuries definitively coming up in a few minutes.
I don't feel overwhelmingly optimistic about. Well, I think Mike McCoy is going to be willing to tell them like questionable or not.
Well, he didn't practice. He hasn't practiced all week. Calvin Ridley.
So if Calvin Ridley's out there, that would be a shock.
Yeah. Neither has Draymond Jones, by the way, nor Arden Key.
Well, Draymond Jones did practice Wednesday, but he had a knee injury in practice on Thursday.
That's right.
And then was DNP.
That's right. He wasn't even on the injury report Wednesday.
So you're talking about Jihad Ward, Ali Gay,
and
Jalen
Femi's on IR. Yeah.
They have no pass rushers.
Oh,
they
man.
have the one.
Yeah, and so you look back at that interior with Jeffrey Simmons and hopefully Tavondre Sweat, who's been limited all week in practice.
So, as you look at the interim coach bump, I gave you the numbers, courtesy of Nick Shook.
Jeff Saturday won his first game.
Oh, isn't that the Vikings game?
No, that was...
Are you sure?
No, the Vikings, they had a huge lead. They were up 33.
Oh, they blew that game.
They blew the lead.
That's right.
And it surpassed that Oilers team from the early 90s for the largest blown lead in NFL history. That was, I think, it might have been like the following week, but his debut as the Colts interim coach, literally off the TV set, was a 25-20 win over the Raiders.
Did that get the Raiders coach fired?
In 2022.
Did that get McDaniels fired? I can't remember.
No, that was 2023.
So, you have anywhere between, if you're playing the numbers based on the numbers that I just gave you, you have somewhere between a 40 and 50% chance to win this game just based off precedent. Now, that doesn't apply to this specific situation maybe, but that is what history would tell us. Now, Mike McCoy is different than your average interim coach because he has been an actual head coach. He was a head coach from 2013 to 2016, so perhaps there is something that is there. His expertise is also on the offensive side of the ball. He did not change much about the circumstance other than that Bill Callahan is out the door. Ben Jones asked me to ask the question about who would take over run game responsibilities in game since Bill Callahan also held those duties. It's not just that he was the offensive line coach. Obviously, they have many run game analysts, many pass game analysts. Bill was a big part of the run game. Luke Stocker, they are going to split the responsibilities between the two assistant offensive line coaches, Scott Fuchs, and I cannot remember the name of the other offensive line coach, Matt something, I think. Either way. And then Luke Stocker, who is, of course, the tight ends coach, and Ben was very happy to hear that Stocker would have an opportunity to participate in that. So,
I hate to break into this, but I needed $1. Do either of you have $1 in your wallet? Lucas, could you check your wallet for me?
I don't even have my wallet.
Really quickly? I just...
Where is
now that I figured out I can pay with my credit card on my phone, like I don't need my wallet.
Could you...
the wallet's in the other room.
Oh, wait, do you stay at... Oh, this is your... Oh, yes.
Hey.
Hey, what do you...
Put it down.
You can't be upset about the Russians. What are
you going to take, my Kroger card?
Yes.
I don't carry cash.
Oh, yes, your Cigna insurance. I'll go get my shots put up to date. That would be nice. What else is in
here? We've been waiting on that for years.
And dental. Ooh, dental. Have to get my... this is a sad wallet.
There's nothing. It's just my credit card and my ID.
Oh, why Delta is that? Dental? Dang, okay, Lucas, okay. You ain't got nothing in here, dude.
Yeah, it's
you
like...
Look, I opened it up, and it sounded like an old lady farting, like
a couple insurance cards, a credit card, an ID, and an air tag for whenever I lose it.
And a very nice picture of Megan.
Oh, that's lovely. You have a picture of Megan in your wallet?
Yeah.
Who's this woman? Oh, okay.
That's
that is
sweet.
Megan. It's like crunched up.
Who is this other woman?
Who is it? And is this Megan's mother? Hubba.
If he would have found my wallet, he would have left work.
Yeah, I would.
You don't carry cash.
He would have booked a flight and been gone.
I would have been checking an ATM somewhere. Like, I know there's a quick cash button on here, damn it. Anyway, I've got your wallet.
Darrington is up next.
Hey, sir. Hey, y'all guys are doing a great job with all this Titan crap that's going on. I just want to let you know, I commend you for everything that y'all talk about that's not Titans. But in the meantime, in between time, since we're talking about the Titans, and we know Callahan is a quarterback regressor, does that mean that there's a potential that Will Levis' stock might be a little bit better than what it is? Since we know Callahan can't coach quarterback, and maybe if he had the right coach, he could be a little bit better. Does that mean he might have a little bit more draft stock potential? And then my other question is, which one gets completed first, the Titans roster or the Titans stadium? Let me know that one. Oh, is David Garrod available? I think we can use him.
David Garrod.
Right.
Thank you
for the call.
Pirate legend.
Is he?
David Garrard, yeah, baby. We're all over the place. Linville Joseph. What you know about the Pirates?
That is an interesting question for next year. What is Will Levis a more viable backup because they've got better coaching around the quarterback situation? I would be curious to find that out. Let's talk. We're going to get to the Laura Rutledge interview next, too. But I also want to touch on this Jonathan Jones CBS article because there's some fascinating information in there. Speaking of people taking over for Bill Callahan and Brian Callahan, why Nick Holtz isn't doing the job that his title indicates that he should be doing. Again, Jonathan Jones at CBS did excellent reporting on that story. We'll talk about that, and you'll hear from Laura Rutledge of ESPN coming up next. Lake lovers, listen up. Tennessee National, a premier resort Golf and Marina community has a limited time offer for you. Tomorrow, Lake Lots, this limited property release on Saturday, October 18th. That's tomorrow. Make sure that you are paying attention for the opportunity of a lifetime. They have so many different kinds of properties on offer for you, whether they are furnished homes that come with boat slips or just properties with 40 miles of views that also come with covered boat slips on one of the most beautiful pieces of land you've ever seen. A golf cart access with paths to the new marina and resort, a 26,000 square foot clubhouse, pickleball, pools, on-site coffee shop, and so much more. Play on the lake or simply relax at the Waterfront Restaurant just over 20 minutes from Knoxville, Tennessee. Financing is available, so celebrate the lake life and make memories. This limited property release, Saturday, October 18th. Visit TennesseeNational.com or call 865-408-9992 to secure your private tour. Memories begin here at Tennessee National. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, a little Seether. Congratulations to Chanel, who won the Seether and Daughtry tickets.
Seether, I hardly know her.
It's good.
That's a pity laugh.
No, it's good.
So speaking of faking it, Brian Callahan fired this week by the Tennessee Titans. And listen, I have no doubt whatsoever that Brian Callahan gave it his best effort to learn on the job how to be a head coach and an offensive play caller. The responsibilities that were bestowed upon him were too much. The responsibilities of play caller were stripped from him because it was too much. And the responsibilities of play caller did not go to his offensive coordinator and longtime friend Nick Holtz. It went instead to his quarterbacks coach, Bo Hardegree, who had been an interim play caller previously. In a piece reported by Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, there are several quotes in here from team sources, from league sources, and from other people familiar with the situation on just how big a mess this thing has been and just how big a problem the person at the top, Amy Adams Strunk, has been in the middle of all of this. Which is the more interesting quote to you, Lucas? Quote, "We had a head coach trying to be an offensive coordinator, but he had to learn how to be a head coach first. We really needed a head coach more than we needed a play caller." That's one. They have another quote in here that said, "There's no savior this year," says a team source. "There's no one here who can stabilize the whole thing." Not necessarily a glowing indictment of the situation, despite Mike McCoy taking over the situation. And then there is another quote about the circumstance for Amy Adams Strunk on what she's going about or how she's going about. The source familiar with Strunk put it when asked about the most important aspect of this coaching search will be, Amy doesn't want to get scolded in the media. Which is the more interesting quote to the two of you?
I mean, those first two, right? We know that.
We're familiar with the circumstance.
Yeah, it's not great. Doesn't feel like there's a savior.
Been here before.
Yeah. If there is a savior, it's Cam Ward, and he's a rookie, and he's
not playing well.
I think it's the last one for sure.
Amy doesn't want to get scolded in the media is the quote from a source familiar with Strunk when asked what the most important aspect of the coaching search will be. Why is this organization so concerned with optics?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They should know that the most important part would be the end when you sign the guy.
That one didn't even get a pity laugh from Lucas. He just smiled.
I don't get it.
Groans don't get. You don't get it.
Yeah, you got to help me with it.
The most important part is when they sign him.
Like when he actually signs the contract.
That
was the joke.
But so
yeah, I know. We'll keep it moving, buddy.
I'm dumb. I'm sorry.
It's not that smart of a joke. It's just like the signing of the contract is the most important part. That's the punchline.
Lucas loves Big Bang Theory. He just gets so many laughs watching that.
It's a terrible show.
I love Sheldon.
It's a terrible show.
I love New Girl.
The show we disagree on is New Girl.
I love New Girl.
New Girl is a funny
Schmidt
show.
Is so funny.
It's a funny show. How I Met Your Mother's not.
What a ridiculous opinion, dude. Like
funny.
You just it's so off base.
Q says these sources need to attach names before they slander or say what Amy is thinking. Or Amy is welcome to come out and address these things herself. Like that's also an option too. Anonymous sources are anonymous sources for a reason. Team sources cannot put their names on things because they currently work for the team. So for you to expect, would you be so bold as to take out your boss and then put your name on it afterwards? I doubt it. The idea that a NFL owner so consumed by optics makes such poor decisions based on optics and then optics worsen around her is insane behavior. But that's the nature of the current Titan structure, where she has empowered people to make decisions on her behalf, where she does not have to be involved with day-to-day operations, but she still gets to be the final say on things because it is her team and that is her right. But if she does not have the day-to-day experience to understand the full context of the situations and is more concerned about what people with microphones and television cameras are saying about her and how poorly her team is run, that cannot be the most important part of the coaching search, even if their processes sound like Chad Brinker is saying. The other part of it is the quotes about Nick Holtz, who was passed over for the offensive coordinator. And listen, to pretend like this doesn't happen everywhere in football would be disingenuous. There are buddy hires made everywhere in football. But here is the line. There's a couple of graphs here that are worth reading before we get to Lower Rutledge. The Titans were so focused on a play-calling head coach and legendary offensive line coach that they failed in other areas of the staff. Callahan hired Colt Anderson as the special teams coordinator. Fail. And the Titans went on to have one of the worst seasons of all special teams groups in the league. He fired Anderson after the season and hired veteran John Bones Fossil. Ahead of a Week 4 game against the Texans, Callahan relinquished play-calling duties and handed them to quarterbacks coach Bo Hardigree. While Hardigree had been the interim OC with the Raiders in 2023, the decision was still curious because Callahan skipped over offensive coordinator Nick Holtz. Holtz was high school teammates with Callahan and began his coaching career when Bill Callahan gave him a quality control position at Nebraska. Brian Callahan hired his longtime friend as the non-play calling OC in 2024, but then did not entrust the play calling duties to him when the time came. Quote, Nick isn't ready, said one source.
Yeah, and I think Brian Callahan felt that way.
So Callahan botched it up and down and then hired a guy to be an OC that he wouldn't trust to call the plays. I don't know how the process can be sound if those are the decisions that the coach is making. And the coach is entitled to hire who he wants on the staff, but there has to be some oversight, no? Let's go to Laura Rutledge interview. She joined us yesterday after the show.
One note quickly. Have you already discussed the production error that was made?
No. Would you like to address a production error that was made?
So Buck haphazardly just threw this thing together in a meeting and didn't really think about the ramifications of using studio quality audio, but not necessarily having studio quality visuals. So instead of having Buck's smiling fake face, yes, that's true, and Lucas's large ass on the Zoom, it was a black screen. So there would be Laura talking, and then we would have no visual. So we had our crackpot team add over visuals, some pictures, so you will know who is talking.
This is our interview with ESPN's Laura Rutledge. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. We've got Laura Rutledge hanging out here with us of ESPN, NFL Live. Laura, we are very happy that you are here. It has been an interesting week in Titanland, as I'm sure you guys have discussed at great length on NFL Live at this point. Laura is here on behalf of Honey Baked Ham's new no prep required take and serve sliders, which has Lucas's mouth watering. As we do this conversation, we'll see if he can get through the interview without making a ham pun. I'm sure you've heard a few at this point, Laura.
Now I'm going to disappoint with that one.
Yeah, I'll just be waiting for it. And your mouth should be watering because they are delicious. But yeah, I am sure you guys have had a very interesting week. We spent a lot of time just on the Titans yesterday on NFL Live and sort of the Cam Ward of it all, because that's what it all comes down to, right? How are they going to find a way to still develop this guy? And I would just say there are so many great options out there of coaches I think that could be available, coordinators even that are really good who could come along and be candidates to develop Cam Ward. And listen, we'll wait and see closer to the time, of when they'd actually be making that hire of what names are around. But Cam Ward is super talented. And I just hope that Titans fans realize that he's okay. Like, he should be good. It's just going to be a matter of getting the right people in there. And I think he's shown some signs, with such few weapons offensively and, even O-line struggles and all of that. You've seen some of the ability that he has, right, already in flashes. And so that's sort of like all you really want to see with a rookie quarterback. And I realize Titans fans, would have wanted to see more. But the other thing that's impressed me about Cam Ward, and I don't know about you guys, is just the way that he's handled himself, the way he's handled the media, the way that he is taken ownership of mistakes at times and owned things and not been satisfied with results. I just think you see a little bit more of why he is the type of guy you want to build a franchise around.
Yeah, no, it stands out to us. It's one of the few things that we can discern about him right now because things have been so hard to figure out. The offense has its problems. You're in a situation with Cam Ward where Brian Callahan is fired. There are conversations being had about whether the offense was adjusting properly to what it is that Cam Ward does well. But Laura, obviously you work with professional athletes, both current and former in your role, whether it's on the sidelines or on NFL Live and things like that, just how easy is it for you to be able to identify that mindset, that mentality that is not as commonplace as people might think in professional athletes, but that Cam Ward seems to come hardwired with, that he's cut out for this?
Yeah, sometimes people are just different and you can tell, and Cam Ward is one of those guys that's different in that good way, that way that you say, okay, this guy's going to figure it out somehow. Like he may need some help around him. There's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some times where, he looks like a rookie. That's understandable. But I would even point to players like a Sam Darnold or a Baker Mayfield or a Daniel Jones that we're seeing have these resurgences. And listen, Cam Ward is still in his rookie season. He's not even halfway through his rookie year. So I would pump the brakes on any of the like, oh no, this guy is a bust conversation, right? That's completely ridiculous to have at this point in time. But I think what you see is with Cam, there is that X factor that I'm talking about that makes like he's not satisfied with mediocrity or less than that. He wants to be great, and he feels like he can be great, and he's worked so hard. I mean, he was this no star recruit. I shouldn't even say 1 star. He had no stars. Nobody's trying to get this guy. He goes on and becomes this college football phenom, the number 1 overall pick in the draft, which was the right pick. I mean, I have no doubts about that for the Titans. And so it's going to be a matter of like who can cultivate him and who can get him in the right spot. And there are a lot of coaches now, a lot of quarterback developers out there, that I think could be great options. And I think for him, you do, again, look at these other quarterbacks that maybe didn't have the easiest start and now are having more success. And I would say those guys may not even have some of the X factors that Cam Ward has. So it should make you even more encouraged about what he can be down the road.
ESPN's Laura Rutledge here with us on behalf of Honey Baked Ham's new no prep required take and serve sliders on 104.5 The Zone.
And you obviously co-hosting with Dan Orlovsky, I'm sure, Laura, have heard a lot of Dan's praise for Cameron Ward. That's made the rounds here in Titans land. I mean, Dan has become quite the ambassador for Cam.
Ambassador is shameful.
Thank you.
Oh, no, don't.
That was a good one.
No, look at her. She doesn't even mean that. Oh, my skin is crawling.
Laura, you are too sweet for going along with that.
Ambassador.
From your vantage point, with everything that has happened at the top and the sheer amount of turnover with the Titans organization, for you, what qualities come to mind when you picture the next head coach, the proper head coach, to lead Cam Ward from here on out and to avoid joining that Sam Darnold type of discussion to where he doesn't have to be one of these bounce back resurgent quarterbacks and he can just do it in the place that drafted him?
Yeah, I mean, I think the head coach is going to be important, right? But I would caution fans that even want like this head coach that's the offensive-minded guy. I mean, that may be what they go with, and there are some, guys that have shown that they can do this at a high level. I mean, geez, early on, I would point to Liam Cohen even in Jacksonville. Now, they're not getting Liam Cohen, but you know what I mean? A guy who comes in as an offensive mind and does have success also being a head coach. Ben Johnson kind of getting things going a little bit there in Chicago. There are these guys that are sort of thought of for their brilliance offensively that can also translate to being great head coaches and can still call the plays and do all these things. But there's also other guys who may not be known for that and come in and, are just great leaders of men. So I think Cam Ward is probably best suited with, some great offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Like that hire may be even more important to, we're turning the lights off in here. All right, let me turn it back on. They're kicking me out. I've only been in here for a few minutes. No. So I think that's going to be important. Like the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, who's in the day-to-day with Cam Ward, because with a rookie, and listen, you don't want this year to be a wash with his development. Actually, Orlovsky was talking about this yesterday. It's really important that they continue to develop him this year. But you also do want to make sure that, you're looking at next season almost like a rookie year in some ways. And that's where I do think like whoever the OC is going to matter, maybe even more than the head coach. And maybe they're able to find a head coach that majors in offense.
Diana Rossini was just on the live show. We'll air this tomorrow on a Friday, Laura. She was just with us talking about, because Mike Vrabel's obviously coming back here this weekend to try and kick their ass. And that's the example, right? Like Mike, Diana was talking about this. Mike has hired Josh McDaniels. He is surrounded Drake May with a variety of different people. And instead, Diana's point was instead of making it about Mike Vrabel versus the Titans, Mike Vrabel versus Titans ownership, this, that, and the other, why not look across the sideline at somebody who you had but is in a better position to try and get it right and take that as an example or a learning lesson as to what your next move should be, no matter how unpleasant or self-loathing that might be in real time.
I know it stings for Titans fans, and Diana's point is, I mean, we're kind of making the same points. I didn't know she said that, but that's interesting because really it is. It's about the support system around these young guys. And I think the quarterbacks who have not had success, listen, it's so obvious to say, like, it's all about where you end up and yada, yada. That's true, but it's really more specifically about who are these guys surrounded with and who can set them up for any type of success. And that's where I think, like, it is. It may be that you grab a head coach who didn't work out as a head coach, but could be a great offensive coordinator, like a Josh McDaniels. There are these guys. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just the name McDaniels is jogging my mind here. But let's say something happens in Miami. This is McDaniel. You wonder how he would be as an offensive coordinator for a team with a young quarterback. Like, there are going to be some guys that would be available that may not be the head coach, but that the lights agree with me, but that could make a big difference in this role. I think the power went out. Oh, no. Okay, it's back. All right. This is somebody's spying on my my observations here. This is hilarious.
Well, they're telling us to turn the lights out on this interview after Lucas make the ambassador joke. Yeah, we got to keep it moving here.
Laura Rutledge of ESPN with us. We marvel every week, Laura, at just your constant state of travel, constant state of work at college football with the SEC Nation show that is in Tuscaloosa this weekend. I imagine honey baked ham is something you lean on throughout these travels and all of this work throughout the course of the football season. But in Tuscaloosa, third Saturday in October, Tennessee, Alabama. Vols haven't won down there since 2003. What do you make of this matchup, and how interesting has the arc been for both of these teams? Alabama, who came out of the gates the way they did in Tallahassee, and now seem like the team we kind of thought they would be, in Tennessee, who is in here with the number one scoring offense in the country after quite a turbulent offseason. What do you make of this game from a surface level?
Yeah, it's just going to be so good. I mean, my goodness, like, you think about what you want this game to be. And for the longest time, kind of to your point, Alabama had sort of reigned supreme. I mean, there's a few examples, right? Like Bryce Young a couple years ago, they were not able to get past Tennessee. But I just think what Josh Heupel has done is remarkable, considering the way that some people had them sort of left for dead, but also saying, like, yeah, you did the right thing moving on from Nico Iamaleava. And then now Alabama, who we had left for dead after losing to Florida State, it looks like the best team in the SEC, one of the better teams in all of college football, and potentially poised right here to make a big run in the college football playoff. But this is a game that, like, they've been on a little bit of a gauntlet here lately. They would say a lot of bit of a gauntlet, and that would be true. Going on the road to Missouri, I don't think people realize how much that game meant to Missouri. We were there. That environment was crazy. Alabama able to come out with that win. They've got this game. They're staring down the barrel of others that are going to be really difficult. I mean, geez, you think about LSU, even though LSU hasn't looked as good as we thought maybe they would. They've got a few games even before they get to that. But there's just so many of these potential pitfalls that could hit Alabama. They host this game. They need to, I think, put on a big show. And it's not going to be, that's easier said than done, right? You think about even some of the tempo that Tennessee likes to play with that can really throw you off. So it's going to be great. It's also going to be great for the tailgate. As you said, I bet a lot of people there might need those take and serve sliders. They're super easy. You just pick them up at the store. You take them right there. It's delicious. Everybody loves them. My kids were actually eating them last night. So if you have kids at your tailgate, they're all about the sliders. And I cannot say enough about how good they are. So, like, you're not sacrificing the taste for the convenience. I can't recommend them enough. I hope you guys get some. You need to try some, okay? And then report back to me. And then you can really say the word hambassador to refer to yourself. Yes. It's not just Dan Orlovsky. I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to tell him when I see him in a few minutes, hey, by the way, you're a hambassador. I don't know.
That'd be a pretty good line, I'm sure. You get some pretty good shots off it, Dan, on NFL Live from time to time.
Yeah, I did one yesterday that sort of happened like in the moment. I mean, they all happen in the moment, right? You can't really plan it out. And I actually felt bad because it was pretty mean, but I don't feel bad that often. He deserves it. He's
I
the
just
best,
imagine-
but he deserves it.
I imagine honey baked ham has too much flavor for Dan Orlovsky.
I know. No, well, you know what? You can kind of like make the flavor how you want it because it comes with condiments. So you can add a pickle on there. The pickle's got a little spice to it. You can add mustard and some different things. So he could just eat it plain and he likes it that way. Regular people want to add the accoutrements, and they have that for the regular people, which is good.
For the regular people.
He's irregular.
Laura Rutledge, we do appreciate your time. One more for you on the way out the door. And again, on behalf of Honey Baked Ham's new no prep required take and serve sliders. If you're tailgating Vandy, hosting LSU this weekend here in Nashville, Tennessee, you might pick up some Honey Baked Ham take and serve sliders for that tailgate. I hesitate to ask you about Billy Napier if for no other reason I'm not sure what's going to happen with Billy Napier by the time this interview airs tomorrow.
I know. What a tough deal, right? I mean, they showed something against Texas at home. You say, all right, maybe something's brewing here, but it was interesting. Even after that game, you sort of felt like they were trying to give the game away to Texas despite running it really well and doing things they hadn't done well all season long. You're thinking, well, my goodness, why not like stick with that? You're running it down their throats. This is working. And then sort of trying to get too cute at times. And I think, unfortunately for Billy Napier, unless he pulls off some sort of like dramatic magic here the rest of the way, which considering their schedule is going to be tough to do, we may be sort of barreling toward the inevitable, but it'll be interesting to see, who's really interested in that job, who wants that job. I still believe this is one of the strongest brand names in college football, but it does have a ways to go, right? In getting it back to what it once was. Now, geez, a long time ago, which is sad to say. Back when I was in school, back in the old days, 2008. I left in 11, and by that point, things had even changed by that point. But yeah, I unless he pulls off some magic, I think they may be moving on. We'll just have to see.
Well, Laura, we so appreciate your time. We know you're busy. Thank you for suffering through our puns, and we are excited to try these Honey Baked Ham, no prep required, take and serve sliders. We will report back. Look forward to watching you guys on NFL Live and then on the sidelines on Saturday. Thank you for the time.
Can't wait. Thank you guys so much.
That is ESPN's Laura Rutledge. Last call for phone calls. If you got them, 615-737-1045. Update the polls coming up next. Fun show. Fun week of shows. Thanks to everybody who helped out. Thanks to you guys for sticking around with us. Lucas had to run to a production meeting with Nashville SC head coach BJ Callahan. They got a big match against Inter Miami coming up tomorrow. Tennessee, huge game in Tuscaloosa. The Titans, I mean, this is their Super Bowl, isn't it, Robert? If they lose that one, then we can actually turn our attention to things like the draft and coaching hot board discussion, because they've already fired the coach. Any juice out of that beyond Cam Ward? Is he good? Is he not good? There's really no relevance to the actual conversations around the games themselves, which would be unfortunate.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think being juiceless was their issue. Like, maybe on offense they didn't have much juice, but, like, I didn't feel like defense wasn't playing. You know what I mean? Like, extra juice in this game. Like,
special teams and defense have been average to good in moments, but not on Sunday. I've got the list of inactives already.
Well, let's hear it.
No Calvin Ridley. No Bryce Oliver. No Arden Key. No Blake Hance. So Draymond Jones not ruled out, which is good, unless we get a corresponding transaction. I mean, he got a knee injury on Thursday. I was
wondering if we would get like a doubtful or a questionable or
I don't know that Mike McCoy's going to even do that, doubtful or questionable. They have not made a decision on Tavondre Sweat, according to Mike McCoy. They said any decision on that would come tomorrow. If there was a decision to be made, if there is no news, then that is also news if Tavondre Sweat is not able to go. But Arden Key, no Femi, who's already on injured reserve. So you're down to Jihad Ward, Jalen Harrell, Ali Gay, and if he plays, a banged up Draymond Jones. You've got a top 10 quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, Drake May, coming in here, an offensive line that's playing decent. Maybe not great, but well enough to stave off a lack of Titans pass rush, and you're without your best weapon on offense. Now, the immediate question specific to the wide receivers is going to be, I think for enough of Titans fans would be, will you call up Xavier Restrepo? They only get 2 practice squad activations. Are you going to use both of them on wide receivers?
Well, and you would also have to make someone else inactive. You have to have a full inactive list. So you would be taking someone else off of playing. Like, who is not going to play so that he can?
Also, why wouldn't Mason Kinsey be a call-up before Xavier Restrepo? Like, people just make it Prochet or Restrepo. Mason Kinsey has more NFL experience than Xavier Restrepo. You're going to toss him out there for his first game?
Probably a better player than Prochet, too. Just because you got drafted doesn't mean you're good, man.
Look at that smile.
We probably ran out of time for the polls.
The polls, if we did the polls, would be presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Online at tworiversford.com. Quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service. I'll be at Nissan Stadium, obviously. We'll still do the Lee Company countdown to kickoff. I believe it's Brent. Actually, I don't know. Is it Brent or Zach?
Tune in and find out.
Okay, nobody's told me.
It'll be a great job either way. I think when I was listening, Brent and Zach have both done an exceptional job this year.
Yeah, we have fun.
As far as keeping you guys, you and Blaine wrangled in, and you get good nuggets from Blaine. Blaine's incredible.
I'm there.
I'm there at some points. But Brent, Zach, Blaine, even the postgame show, everybody's doing a great job this year, especially with what we have to work with. It's like making lemonade out of
pee.
Yeah. little salty.
Sterile, and I like the taste.
Oh, hey, a movie reference from you on a Friday. Does it get much better than that?
No, the only thing that gets better is that this nonsense is finally over for the week. Lee Company countdown to kickoff, 9 a.m. Sunday morning. See you there.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.